and welcome to another episode of Melissa's Menu. Thanks for joining us. We haven't been in the studio for a couple months now. Last month we were at the British Beer Company in Hyannis. Tonight we're back in the kitchen. Our episode tonight is called Delightful Desserts. You all know how much I love chocolate. I love anything sweet. So I thought, what better way to incorporate this into tonight? I have two special guests tonight. Our first guest comes from Reading. She owns Sweet K's, and her name is Kristen Forsyth. Kristen, come on over. Excuse me. Say hello.
Hi, how are you?
So tell us a little bit about your company and what you specialize in.
So I own a cookie company, as you said, right here in Massachusetts, up in Reading, and I do decorated sugar cookies for all sorts of occasions, birthday parties, showers, sort of any sort of decoration you could think of and that you want in a cookie, I can make it. So it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. And
nice. I'm so excited. Now, I was reading your website, of course, and you specialize, like you said, in cookies. Now, tonight's cookie that we're making is actually not your normal cookie. Is this gluten-free?
Right, so tonight we are taking a healthy spin on cookies. I just found it really important. I love, having a sweet treat, and I tried to find a way to make a sweet treat also be healthy.
Yeah.
So tonight we're doing a recipe called Be Good, B-E-E, because it has honey in it, and it fits into the paleo lifestyle as well as gluten-free lifestyle.
Okay, now before we start, a lot of our guests don't know what that is, so if you wouldn't mind explaining what gluten-free is, number one, and then how do you pronounce it?
Paleo.
Paleo, what that is as well.
Okay, so paleo is a diet that a lot of people are adopting, and it's sort of, a lot of people call it the caveman diet because it refers back to how people used to eat back in the day, which was just a wholesome, natural, simple way to eat. So they don't eat things like dairy, legumes, which are like peanuts,
yes.
Soybeans, no gluten. So if you're paleo, you're also gluten-free.
Okay.
So gluten is any sort of wheat, and no grains.
Wow, so that's like a major lifestyle change. Well, I guess if you have been eating like that,
right,
for quite some time.
Right, it is a big lifestyle change, but then when you think about all the things that you can eat, you can eat any sort of meat, poultry, fish, eggs. So there's so many, and all sorts of fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
So there's plenty of things you can eat. You're just sort of eliminating out kind of the bad stuff.
Super healthy. Not my thing, right, guys? I'm always talking about how I eat junk food and I have candy bars in the morning before I go to work. It's terrible. But maybe this is a good thing. So I'm so excited to learn about this tonight. Why don't we start over here? Why don't you tell our audience what we have for ingredients?
Sure. Okay, so the base flour of the cookie is an almond flour, and all almond flour is ground up almonds.
Oh,
very,
no
very
kidding.
simple.
Okay.
So you
now,
can get it
where
at any
would you
grocery
buy?
store.
You would buy this at the regular grocery store?
Any grocery store nowadays has almond flour.
Okay,
in the
almond
baking
flour, folks.
Yep.
And what do we have here?
This is just salt.
Regular.
Salt.
Now, do you use the table salt or sea salt, or does it matter?
This is table salt.
Okay.
You could also, if you felt strongly about using sea salt, you can use that as well.
Okay.
It's really either way.
Great. And what is this?
This is organic coconut oil.
Okay.
So this is a great butter substitute. It sort of acts the way a butter would, except it's made from coconut. So
okay, sounds
a lot
good.
less fatty, has the good fats in it.
Right. And this, I'm guessing, of course, is our honey that we're using.
Yep. So
and this is organic?
Yep, it's raw organic honey, so it's minimally processed, not heated. So again, very good for you.
Okay.
And then just a pure almond extract.
And our pure almond extract. Okay, and of course you can buy this at your regular store as well.
Yes, you can.
Okay. So what do we do from here?
All right. So we just need a mixer.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is start with the almond flour.
Okay.
Just pour that in. So this is 4 cups of almond flour.
4 cups. All right. And how many dozen cookies will this make?
So this will make about 2 dozen cookies.
Okay. Great.
And then we'll move on and we'll do the salt.
Now, how long have you had your company?
So I've had my company for about 4 years.
And how did you start that?
My daughter is 5 years old, and when she was born, I decided I didn't want to go back to the corporate world that I was in before because there was a lot of traveling. And so I was like, maybe I'll stay home with her. So I stayed home with her, and I started baking just as a hobby with her. So we would, she'd sit in her high chair and we'd bake together, and she'd get covered in flour. And then it quickly turned in from a hobby. I got my first paying job, then my next paying job, and then it grew into the business that it is
Wow, good for you.
So,
excellent.
it's
I
fun.
love baking. I don't do a whole lot of it compared to you, of course. My cookies are normally like your typical chocolate chip cookies, and I'll kind of add a few ingredients here or there, but I'll use like the basic Toll House cookie recipe or something like that.
That's a good recipe, though.
Yeah,
That's a good
I
recipe.
do bake. I love baking brownies and cookies. We'll talk about cakes a little bit later. I've made a few of those, but I'm more comfortable doing the cookies. So
Yeah.
I'm so excited
Good.
to taste these afterward.
Okay, so we just put in 2 tablespoons of salt.
Okay.
2 teaspoons of salt.
2 teaspoons, okay.
Yes. And then this is the coconut oil. So this is a 1/4 cup of coconut oil.
All right.
Put in there.
Folks, this is really easy so far. You should be able to do this. Anyone can really make this recipe by the looks of it.
Exactly. And that's what's great about paleo. I think it sounds intimidating.
It does, yeah.
But it's actually just sort of everything stripped down. It's actually pretty simple. And then this is 1/2 cup of the honey.
That looks fabulous. I love honey. We did a health food show a few months ago, and I had a couple personal trainers on, and they were really big into honey. And they
Yes.
were saying, and I always thought that honey is full of sugar, and they said it's actually it's very good for you. It's very healthy for you.
Right. There are only a couple of sugars that are sort of approved on the paleo lifestyle, and one of them being honey,
Okay.
and the other one being pure maple syrup.
Pure maple syrup. That's another great one
Another
as
good
well.
sweetener. Yep.
And you're talking about the pure maple syrup, not your Aunt Jemima stuff at the grocery store, like real pure Vermont maple syrup.
From the trees
Right,
up
right.
north.
Okay.
And then we're going to do 2 teaspoons of the pure almond extract.
Okay. And I'm going to preheat our oven. And which temperature am I putting this on?
350.
Okay. And how long do these cookies normally bake for?
So bake them for about 8 to 10 minutes until they're golden brown.
Okay.
So depend on your oven on how quickly they cook.
That sounds easy.
All right, so we're ready to give this a
All right.
mix?
Yep.
Okay.
Put that up. I'll grab our cookie sheet. Now, what is the consistency going to be after that's done?
So it's probably a little thicker than a cookie dough that you're used to seeing.
Okay.
Because of the simple raw ingredients. So once this all mixes up, we're gonna form it into a little ball, and I like to always press out my cookies so they look nice and pretty. It's
Okay.
always my goal. So we're gonna put it in a ball and then chill it.
Okay.
Chill it for a couple of hours. That'd
For a
be
couple
great.
hours. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
And then it makes it easier to press out the dough. Just gonna speed this up a little bit.
So we're not using egg or anything like that to bind it together. What are we using in its place to bind this together?
So the combination of the honey and the coconut oil
Okay.
will help get it together.
looks good.
Oops.
Great. Oh my goodness.
Do you want to do a little bit of hand mixing?
Yes.
Or I think you're the expert on how to get the bowl off.
Yeah, this kind of is tricky.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So mix this. So we all set with this?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. Put that over here.
Folks, take a look at this. And this was what, 5 ingredients?
Right,
Four
exactly 5.
ingredients? Very, very easy. I have to say, I've never tasted a cookie like this, so I am curious what it's going to taste like.
I find
Now, oh, go ahead.
sometimes with gluten-free baking, you have to pay attention to what's on the labels, because although it's gluten-free, it doesn't necessarily mean it's healthy. So to make up
Okay.
for the taste, sometimes you read the labels and you're like, what is this and that? And it's because when you take wheat out of baking, it does make it challenging for it to stay together and for it to taste good. So you want to be careful when you're buying things that are gluten-free, that the ingredients still look pure and simple.
That's actually great to know. Are we putting this in the freezer now?
So we're gonna just take I have a little piece of
Okay.
plastic wrap. This is just a good trick, whether you're baking gluten-free or regular cookies that you want to roll out.
Okay.
Instead of keeping it in the bowl, then it gets really hard in the bowl and it's hard to roll it out.
Yes, yes,
Just
yes.
make little
I've done that before,
packets.
the chocolate chips, where I'll make it the night before, I'll throw this in the fridge, and it's
Right.
so hard to mix it the next morning.
Right, the
Yeah.
next day. Right.
Now, did you make up this recipe?
I did. You know, I spent some time looking online just because my husband and I are gluten-free, and I wanted something sweet, and I wasn't happy with what I was purchasing at the store. So I just
Okay.
did some research. I combined a few things that I had seen online and
Okay.
came up with this recipe on my own.
Do you want me to put some on?
Sure. So we're just gonna make a little
Okay.
kind of dough ball here.
So separately? Or
Nope,
all
you can
together?
keep it all
Okay.
together. That's fine.
Now, how long have you been gluten-free for?
So we have been gluten-free for about 3 months.
Oh, okay, so this is relatively new.
Relatively new, yes. My husband has an autoimmune condition, and
Okay.
we started thinking about, like, okay, maybe we should give the gluten-free diet a try, because so many
yep.
people swear by eliminating it. It really does help the body in so many ways.
As you folks know, whoever's watching this tonight, I get a lot of requests, I've talked about this in the past, for gluten-free recipes, and why don't you do a show on gluten-free cooking, and honestly, I haven't really thought too much about it because
Thank you.
I don't eat gluten-free or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
but according to my friends, you know, the people that do have these diets, they're telling me how much better they
Right.
feel, and you know,
Yes.
health-wise, and it's better for you, and
More energetic,
more energetic.
clear-minded.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Okay, so once you have your little dough packet, you're just
Okay.
gonna stick that in the fridge.
In the fridge. Okay. Okay, folks, we are back. Fast forward 2 hours. We're ready to take out our dough. We've had it in the fridge for a couple hours now. Kristen,
right.
if you want to grab that out. We're going to roll this out now on our countertop.
All right, so first we're just gonna flour the surface a little bit.
Okay.
And because this is a gluten-free recipe, this is gluten-free flour.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
If someone did have celiac, which is sort of it's a disease with gluten, even minimal exposure, like something like this, could be a problem. So you
Wow,
just want to
okay,
make
that's
sure
good to know.
you're using gluten-free flour.
Now, we just had a question in our audience a few minutes ago about what is the main difference, a couple questions. The main difference between the gluten-free and the paleo diet.
Okay.
If you want to explain that.
Sure. So, so if you're gluten-free, you're going to avoid gluten, and if you're adopting the paleo lifestyle, you're not only going to give up gluten, you're going to give up grains, dairy, legumes, processed sugars, and
Okay.
soy. So
Oh
there's
my.
more things that
Right.
are eliminated in that diet.
Legumes meaning beans, correct?
Beans and then peanuts.
And peanuts. Okay. Okay. So definitely a major difference there between the gluten-free, which is just your wheat, correct?
Right, right. And gluten's also
Paleo.
found in rye, like, which would be in beer.
Yeah, we were just talking off air, and there are so many things really that are gluten that have gluten in them.
Exactly.
Your pastas and
Any
your
sort of
breads
bread
and right cakes. We'll talk about that a little bit later. A lot of our sweets. And another question we had was: is there a big difference between the taste with the baked items versus your regular cookies? If you want to maybe talk about that for a minute.
Sure. No, there definitely can be.
Oh, these are great.
Thanks.
Folks, take a look at these. We have these cute little cookie cutters. You can use any.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry. You can use any kind you want if you have any other ones at home.
Absolutely, you can get as creative as you want.
Right. So I'll do some of these with you if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what was the question I just asked?
I'm forgetting.
It was what is the difference? Oh, the taste.
The taste, yes.
Yes.
So with baking, there can be a big taste difference when something is gluten-free, and it's not only taste, but it could also be the consistency.
Oh, okay.
So I think sometimes when we're thinking of eating a baked good, you have something already associated in your mind how that's going to feel,
Right.
and there can be a difference.
It's very true. It's very true.
Right, and I think some bakeries do a great job with gluten-free, and because it's so popular now and so many people struggle with gluten sensitivities and gluten allergies, there are some really good products out there. And
Mine aren't as good as yours. You can do some more. You're the expert here.
Thanks. I think yours came out just fine. So these in particular, it took me a long time to come up with this recipe because I wanted to find something that was not only gluten-free and paleo, but also tasted good. And
Right.
And I
right.
think with paleo, although it sounds like you're eliminating so many things, you're still left with some really great, simple ingredients that where we all, as men and women, we all started from. And there's some great things left that you can eat that are delicious and good for you.
Great info tonight. I love this. We had like I said, we did a health food show a few months ago and had a lot of positive feedback from our audience about, what they learned from it. So This will be another successful one, I'm sure. Probably get some emails and so forth and questions. And actually, while we're on that subject, I'm going to kind of fast forward a little bit. How do people get in contact with you if they like to order some of your products?
Sure. So I have a website, www.sweetk.net, and you can order products online there.
Okay.
And then I also have a Facebook page if you want to check out some of the work I've done and see some pictures of some of the fun things that I create. That is called Sweet K. So those two avenues are a good way to find me.
There you have it, folks. Very easy. Everyone is online these days, so they can easily find you. Now tell me, I know that your children, have your children adapted to this lifestyle as well? Or I know this is relatively new for you, you said.
Yeah, so slowly but shortly, I'm starting to buy, so if I cook pasta, I'll just cook a gluten-free pasta, and the kids don't notice a difference.
Okay.
And I just switched over their mac and cheese to be organic gluten-free mac and cheese, and again, they haven't really noticed a difference. So, but if they want like a sweet or a cookie that isn't gluten-free, I haven't totally eliminated from their diets.
Right. Now tell me about the pasta. I'm curious. I've never even tried the gluten-free pasta. Is there a big difference in taste with that?
I don't think so. I think it's actually really good, and I had one recently that was an organic quinoa pasta. So it was
I like
made out of
quinoa. I like
flour.
that a lot. Yeah.
It was delicious, and it was. I thought it was great. I didn't mind it at all, and I think if you put a good sauce on it, and it was really yummy.
Tell us more about your products that you offer and the different types of cookies. I know you said that you focus on the customized sugar cookies.
Sure.
And what are other flavors and stuff?
Okay, so in the traditional sugar cookie area, so this would have gluten traditional sugar cookies.
Okay.
I do sugar, chocolate, and spice.
Oh, you do chocolate?
Yes, chocolate sugar cookies.
Hang on one second. I'm going to pop these in the oven.
Okay.
Again, folks, this is on 350 for about 8 minutes to 10 minutes?
8 to 10 minutes until golden brown,
Depending
yes.
on your oven, of course. So we'll put those in, and we're going to keep chatting.
So the traditional sugar cookies I can also make with a gluten-free flour.
Okay.
So that is another option. So if someone wanted a decorated cookie like that, I could substitute in a gluten-free flour, so I can meet those customers' needs as well.
There we go. I'll just set the timer.
All right.
And so I saw some of your products. We'll talk about that in just a minute, but tell us more about what you do for your cookies. So you do baby showers and bridal showers and that sort of thing?
Yes, I do a lot of baby showers. I do the diaper cakes with the cookies on top, because then the mom gets the diapers and the guests
get are popular right
the
now.
Cookie. Yes, exactly. I do wedding showers, any sort of, I can do wedding cakes or engagement rings. And then I do a lot of things for kids' birthday parties.
Okay.
So many kids' birthday parties are themed these days, so
Right.
I can do like any sort of character that your kid is obsessed with at the time.
Okay.
Making it into a cookie is very popular.
Okay.
So that keeps me busy.
What's your most popular item, would you say?
I would say right now, probably the Frozen cookies, because everyone's into the movie Frozen.
Everyone's talking about that, the movie Frozen. I can't believe I haven't seen that yet. But I will. I'm sure your kids love that.
They do love it. We've seen it, I think, 1,000 times.
So how many cookies did this make?
So it's close to 2 dozen cookies.
Okay. I'm gonna hop over here. After you're done,
Okay. I think we're good. I think we get the last one here. All right.
Good. We're gonna hop over here and just kind of talk about Kristen's products here. If you want to kind of do like a little overview of everything.
Sure. So this is the diaper cake that we were talking about earlier.
This is absolutely phenomenal. Look at this. Now I'm curious, how long does it take you to decorate one of these cookies, like on average?
Probably a long time. I'm trying to think. At least, if I think about like an arrangement, it probably took me a couple hours to do this arrangement.
Right.
It sort of happens in layers. Like you put the base layer down, and then you need to let them dry, and then you go back and you do the details, and then you might need to go back again.
Let's talk about the details. Now, are these gluten-free or are these regular sugar
So
cookies?
these cookies that you're seeing now are just traditional sugar cookies made with regular flour, so they do contain wheat.
Okay, so these two. So not only, folks, is she a great baker with the cookies, but you're very talented.
Thank you. Thanks. It's a lot of fun.
Very nice. So you do the diaper.
Yes.
Kind of the centerpieces here for this. And what else do we have over here?
Yes, and then this is just like a basic arrangement if you needed to send like a
Love
thank you note or a get well.
Love those. These are the ones we just made, folks. The same design. I'm not sure if these are the same flavor cookies, are they?
These are also
Could be.
traditional.
Okay.
Traditional sugar cookies.
Okay.
And then we talked earlier about the movie Frozen.
Get a good view of this.
So we have Olaf, and then the
Oh
snowflakes.
my gosh. Now, how did you get these on?
So this is called an edible image.
Okay.
And I can take any image that's online and have it printed with edible ink on edible paper.
Wow.
So if you wanted something really custom for any sort of event, it becomes your own personal thing.
Right.
It feels very special. So
Right, absolutely.
that's just a frozen image that I got off the
And so
internet.
they can just eat these cookies.
Absolutely, you can just eat them as is. It doesn't need to be taken off.
Which kind of brings me to my next one, similar.
Yes.
I love these. I was just asking Kristen about these cookies. Now, same idea with the picture?
Yes. Yes. So this is Uncle Ray when he was a baby,
Look
and
at
he's
these.
turning
Aren't
60
these
this weekend.
adorable?
Yes. So we did.
Is this one of your relatives?
This is my
or-
uncle.
Oh, it is.
Yes, when he was a baby. Very cute, isn't he?
Oh, that is so cute. Love it.
So he's having a big party this weekend. So this is.
And what
for
kind
his
of
party.
these? What kind of cookies are these?
So these are the gluten-free sugar cookies. So these are just made with, instead of a regular flour, like these are made with the gluten-free flour.
Okay, excellent. And you've got a cute one right here. And it
Yes.
just sets the whole.
Yep.
Okay. And what else do we have?
Okay, and then we'll stick with the decorated cookie. So this is a bowling arrangement that I was asked to do. Someone was giving a
Love
gift,
this.
and
Look at this.
they're sending them to King's, which is in
Oh,
Massachusetts.
in Dedham.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I love Kings.
So we wanted something to put the gift certificate in it and kind of tie it all together.
Oh,
so
that's great.
I made that up.
That's really creative. I love that.
Thank you. Thanks.
Very nice.
And then lastly, so this is another version of the gluten-free recipe.
Okay.
So what we made together with that almond flour base, I can make in a variety of different flavors.
Right, you
So
were
different
talking about
options.
that.
Yes, so these are the maple ones.
These look so good.
So these, instead of honey, have maple syrup.
You have the maple in place of the honey. Okay,
Yes.
that makes sense. Now, what do you use for the chocolate?
So in the chocolate, I use raw organic cacao.
Okay.
So it has the cacao actually has no sweetener in it. It's just pure, like chocolate at its finest.
Oh, wow.
And it's a really great antioxidant that is also actually very, very good for you.
So are these, oh, I know all about that. I'm always I'm always convincing people how chocolate is great for you.
It is, right?
So these chocolate cookies, do they have much flavor if it's the bitter?
So
cocoa
to counteract that bitterness, you
Yeah.
have to add the sweetness.
Okay.
So with those, I also use pure maple syrup, which has like such a rich,
Yes.
yummy flavor. So that's where
Yes.
you're gonna get your sweetness from.
Okay.
And then you have that
okay.
like pure chocolatey flavor. So it's almost just like a
Oh
candy
my
bar.
gosh,
and a
I can't. I'm so ordering those this weekend. I cannot wait to try those. All right, so folks, once again, you can order these cookies right from Kristen's website at sweetk.net, or you can find her on Facebook as well. And I think it's just been about 8 minutes. We're gonna jump over here again. I'm just
All right.
gonna take a quick peek in here, and you can let me know how we're doing. Still not done yet,
Not
right?
quite. A little bit more time.
Okay. All right, folks, it's been about 8 minutes. Let's check on the cookies. Kristen, what do you think?
I think they look good. They're golden brown. They're
Yay.
ready to go.
Oh, you guys, it smells so good in here. Yum, yum. So we're just gonna pop these onto our baking cooling rack.
Yep.
You definitely want these to cool completely before you frost them. And how long does that normally take for that?
I'd probably give it a good like 15 minutes or so before you want to put anything on them. I typically, when I'm making the paleo and gluten-free cookies, these cookies, I do not frost them because then they would sort of get out of the paleo category.
Right,
But
right.
you could certainly come up with a paleo-friendly icing if you wanted a little extra sweetness on the top, like just using a little bit of honey.
Okay.
Drizzle it over the top.
So these right here are just your gluten-free ones.
Right, so those are made with the gluten-free flour, but they are not paleo.
Right, right. Okay.
And those you're able to decorate because of the consistency, where
Okay.
these are going to be a little bit softer and moister.
And we just had another question. How much do these go for?
Sure, so the paleo cookies that are packaged in the little bags there are $1 each. So I sell them online for $6 for half dozen and then $12 for a dozen.
Okay.
And then the decorated sugar cookies range anywhere from about $2.50 per cookie to about $3.50 depending on the level of customization and whether or not you want an image, whether they need to be wrapped, etc.
Okay, excellent. And how much is your diaper?
So the diaper cake.
Diaper decoration.
So typically, if that was being used for a centerpiece, there'd be more cookies because there'd be about 10 people
Yep.
at a table. So with 10 cookies, that'd be about $40.
Okay, okay. Very nice. Folks, there you have it. We just made our Be
Good.
Good cookies.
Yes.
And I can't wait to try one. We're gonna hold off and let these cool, and then we'll come back and try one. And again, if you want to reach Kristen, you can go to her website or her Facebook. You ship anywhere in the U.S.?
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, folks, that's all the time we have tonight. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Melissa's Menu. Thank you so much for coming on, Kristen. I hope you enjoyed it.
I had so much fun.
The cookies are phenomenal. Make sure you order some. Special thanks to A.L. Pedrizzani and Sons and the British Beer Company for underwriting Melissa's Menu. Have a good night.